Jay is bringing, and everything they bring got that Delaware swag.
Hey, everybody. Naz, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're really low. Hold on.
I can turn myself up. Is that better?
Yes.
Boom. Hey, everybody. This technology is working. And as you can see, let me double check something here. Oh, there we go. Oh, as you can see, we are here live with me in Delaware and Naj in Abu Dhabi. So, Naj, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm trying to see if it's not coming up on my feed.
Okay.
Also, my internet might be a little bit slow because I'm using two devices at the same time.
Okay.
So give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a delay?
There shouldn't be a delay. I can hear you very clearly. Do you see anything on YouTube or on Facebook? The intro ran.
Okay, it's good.
Nice. So we're stumbling into things, everybody, but as you can see, we are live. I'm in the casita. Naja's in Abu Dhabi with all kinds of cool brown prints behind her. So yeah, welcome back.
These are gray.
Is it gray?
Yeah.
Well, I have bad eyes, so yeah, but it looks very deserty, so yeah.
I wish I could show the view, but unfortunately, you can't really see it. So.
So, Naj, how's it over there right now?
It is the actual weather is 74 degrees.
Okay.
Today the high was 76, so it feels like early summer, late spring here.
Okay.
It reminds me of like Rehoboth Beach. There are a lot of malls, there are a lot of shopping, a lot of restaurants. It's really pretty out here. But I think the biggest misconception is that it's just everybody's dressed in garb and you can't show nothing and no one speaks, English, but it's very much literally like Delaware.
I think it's, and I know we've talked about this before, but I think it's really interesting that you said it's like Delaware, because out of all the things that I would think, I would say maybe it's like Philly, or maybe, that's just what I would imagine, or maybe more like a Los Angeles or something like that, like more of a metropolitan. So when you say Delaware, what do you mean? Like, well, how is it like Delaware?
There are a lot of families.
Okay.
Like a lot of families. I can't go a day without hearing a baby crying, and I'm like, give me the baby. But there's a lot of restaurants, a lot of like their stores, so like the equivalent to like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Burlington, stuff like that. The McDonald's, Burger Kings, all that. It's very suburban.
It's
very suburban.
So when you say suburban, because we've all seen footage and everything, but like, is there suburban housing, like little, cookie cutter houses, or what do you mean?
No, there's actually pretty much everyone lives in like a high-rise apartment.
Okay.
The buildings are huge, and a lot of people live in apartments or condos. There are houses, but I don't know if I know where about they are, but they're also mixed in with businesses. So it's really hard to tell what is a house and what isn't. But I don't know how to.
Is it like Go ahead. Sorry.
I only say Delaware because of the family. Like, it's very family friendly. Like, there's a lot of play centers. There's a lot of like movie theaters, malls. Again, the restaurants. There's a beach, like the beach strip. Just like if you go to Rehoboth, the beach goes all the way up and down, so you can get in at different points. And there's like a boardwalk.
So maybe is it fair to say it's like a metropolitan environment but a suburban lifestyle?
I don't know what metropolitan.
Like a city environment, like a Philly environment, because there's skyscrapers and that kind of thing, but it's a suburban lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a suburban city.
Okay, yeah.
It's a suburban city.
I would never, I don't think anyone would ever imagine that. It's just not what I picture in my brain. But, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to do my fair share of reading about where you are beforehand. And even with what we've talked about over the past month, like it's nothing that is online adds up to what your actual experience
No,
has been. Right.
nothing. I actually wish that I could pull up on the people who posted the blogs and the articles
Oh, got
because
you.
I would have packed so differently
Mm.
had I known. Like I wouldn't have been as afraid to leave my hotel had these people not I feel like they was lying because I even saw some blogs and like some videos from 2022, 2023, and it is nothing like what these blogs and videos were saying. So it's just like what the yeah.
Interesting. I feel like there's almost like, you know, there's a certain level of propaganda to it, you know, where they're trying to
Right. I'm like, did you
gear
get
you.
paid to
Right.
deter people? Because
I feel like what they're trying to do is like have you at least walk into the situation conservatively and then you figure out
right,
the reality on your own. But at least we don't start like it's, you know, Bourbon
right,
Street in New Orleans. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right, right.
Yeah, yeah. Which makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I get that.
so talk to us about, you know, the music there, your musical experience, how the stage is, your players, all that kind of stuff. I know everybody wants to know that stuff.
So, I don't know how to say this. I guess I'm gonna say it how it's
Keep it as
coming to
much
mind.
of a bean as you can.
Keep it a bean.
Keep
Hate
it as
that
much.
phrase.
I'm
Oh my
sorry,
god.
but yep.
Especially because I've been eating so many beans. So we are basically creating like this niche thing in Abu Dhabi because they did not have what we're doing. Like there have been some places, some one-off places that play music and live music, but they're not playing like jazz, soul music, you know, classic soul, R&B. So when I got here, we found that out. We found out also that the jazz bar that I'm playing at has a 50-year history of having
Right.
like dedicated jazz players. I don't know if you ever heard of Take Five.
Of course, yep.
So they were there, and their pictures on the wall. And then the jazz bar closed down for 3 years, and then we're part of the reopening. So I get to play with Devin. His name's Devonair. He's from Philly. Dahi, saxophone. Devin plays drums. Dahi plays sax from Philly. And then Idris from Brooklyn, New York. And the day that we met was the day that we got on the plane together. I
Yeah.
met Idris like a day later when we got to Abu Dhabi.
So, what has the process been like of gelling with a brand new bunch of musicians? You know, when you just get off of the plane, you know, I mean, I think people really want to know this. Like, you just get off the plane, meet these new people, walk into a totally, you know, new environment and in every way, and just go. What's that been like?
I think the easiest part of the trip was gelling with the guys. Like that was the easiest thing because they're cool. You know, like they're definitely from Philly, Dahi and Devin. So that I'm familiar with. They know a lot of the same musicians that I know, that we know. So it was just like that was cool. Idris is really laid back. He's the baby of the group. So when we got together, we just kind of like felt each other out, you know, and just played the music. The hardest part was understanding what the crowd actually wanted.
Yeah.
So we originally were booked to do the kind of music that I sing. You know, I do some jazz or jazz fusion, and then mostly classic soul and R&B. But when we got here, we had two different changes. They wanted jazz music, but they also wanted hits, like pop hits. So trying to understand all of that, because the people here, you know, they're on vacation, they want to dance, they want to drink. And y'all know how it is at home when you go out somewhere and you kind of want a vibe of everything. It was like that. So it was just trying to navigate that was difficult.
I think this is like a good place to actually go back a little bit. And can you explain as much as you know, because you've been doing some of the tourism stuff, like give the people, and I realize this is almost an interview for you right now and we'll stop, but Tell the people just a little bit about the history of Abu Dhabi so that they get that whole perspective of like, they're really trying to build a culture. You know what I'm saying? Because it's impacted how you are having to decide your music. You know what I mean?
So, all right, dang. So this
Sorry.
is real loose. This real loose with it. We just we gonna rock. But
Keep it simple, yeah.
it's the country, the UAE, Abu Dhabi is the capital of the United Arab Emirates, which is a country in the Middle East. Dubai is a city. Abu Dhabi is a city. So they're all within the UAE. The country is only 52 years old. And that's exactly what and when I say that, like, it was colonized by the British originally for quite some time, and then they were like, you know what, we're gonna let y'all be, we're gonna head out. And then they struck oil. The Emiratis struck oil. And then the British apparently came back and were like, hey,
Of course.
what's up?
The British are good at that.
But you can buy from us though. And from that point on, they started growing their country and making it what it is today. And they are very progressive. They have, so 80% of the people here are not from here. Only 20, maybe 20% of the people are actual Emiratis. Oh, I can hear that thing.
Oh, that's funny. Man,
Yeah.
yep.
That was really loud.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. So 80% of the people are from all different countries, and they call them expats. And oh God, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so they have tons of technology. They have all the things here that you would have at home for the most part. Like I said, like the Burger Kings, the McDonald's. They love Cinnabon. Cinnabon is everywhere.
Which is weird. I wouldn't expect that one, but yeah.
I know. It's crazy. But you get a lot here that you would get at home. And I think they do that because they want people to come and feel good about being in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with someone about when 9/11 happened in the US. They said that the founder of the UAE was like, oh, no. Do what you need to do and send out a message all over the world that we had nothing to do with that. That is not us. And that this is a safe place. So UAE is actually one of the safest places in the world.
That's really cool. I mean, especially for your situation.
Yeah.
And my whole point in trying to get you to explain all that, thank you for doing it, is, I think that you're a part of them trying to build culture. Like they're importing American culture in order to sort of build their country up. You know what I mean? Which is a really cool thing to see, because you're still at the very, honestly, a 50-year-old country. What does that even mean? It doesn't even sound right. You know what I mean? So you're sort of helping to grow a baby, and I think that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited for the musicians who come after us, because we're basically like the guinea pigs. And when people see that we've done it and we've come home and we are good, then they'll be more likely to come out and enjoy and make music and create this culture of live music, because they have it in Dubai, but Dubai is 2 hours away from here. So they wanted it here. They want people who live in Abu Dhabi, who are raising families, to be able to share in that. And it's funny because I have a lot of shows where there are like 5 or 6 families in the audience with their kids.
Yeah,
and I love that.
No, I like that too, because you don't see that so much in America. I think that's an interesting thing. And it's also wild to me just because I put my kids to bed like as early as reasonably possible. So I can't imagine having when they get a little bit older, but just having them out, at 11 o'clock at night to vibe to music, it's probably a good thing,
the youngest
actually.
I had was a 5-year-old.
That's a stretch, but okay, cool.
Oh, I know.
What I mean?
I was like, God bless him.
Yeah. God bless the child who, made that. Oh, it's good for the kid, in terms of absorbing culture and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I could pick your brain forever about it, just because I think the people are really interested in the whole situation, but that's what's going on with you. Should I say anything about me in terms of?
So let me just say, Jay has been his family, all of them, they have been sick the entire month of December. Everyone is healthy now.
I think so. I think so. We're not 100%, but everybody
Mentally,
is.
no. Mentally, no. Not at
Well,
all.
I mean,
That
even
was never a
physically,
thing.
no, and it never will be. But like physically, like yeah, we all got smacked with COVID literally the week right after Christmas, and everybody is slowly teetering back. Everybody's going back to work and school and all that kind of stuff, but nobody's like at 100. And yeah, just trying to get back to normal life. Yeah.
It's funny because I was listening to NPR and I think I was listening to it before Christmas. I try to listen to it every couple days just to kind of stay up to date what's going on with home. And every time they talk about there's no medicine available, barely, because everybody's sick. The urgent cares are filling up. The emergency rooms are like everybody's sick. People are missing school and work.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's kind of from my end. I have a very busy week this week in terms of a lot of performances because of Martin Luther King Day, and you know, thank God I've only had to really miss one gig ever due to being sick. But like for a musician or just a singer in particular, you know, like the threat of losing my voice literally threatens my livelihood and the ability to pay bills. So I'm like, it's this weird thing because I work in a school setting, you know, where I'm like, I gotta, you know, be with the kids and be close to them and give them what they need in all the ways. But I'm also walking around paranoid all the time about, God, I'm going to catch something, and you don't want to because I gotta work.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a weird situation because that's the main concern. I don't mind not feeling great, but like I gotta make money. You know?
Yeah.
So
I get that.
So we got. You want to kind of start with some of the stories that you have, or you want to keep talking about us? I don't know.
Well, we can start with our friends that visited us, and usually we do this at the end of the show, but I really want to start with it now because
yes.
it's hilarious. Florida man is actually Florida alien, Florida visitor.
It's absurd.
So can I just say that I'm offended? I'm offended that they chose Florida, Miami, Florida, to invade first. And they didn't even invade. They just popped up to go to the mall. You could have chosen King Prussia. You could have went to New York. You chose Florida?
Well, like if you were an alien, wouldn't you want to go like to the biggest shit show? Like this is going to be fun and get really entertained? No. No, I'm here for the bullshit. Like if we're gonna
I want to see
party,
the refined version of this planet.
No. I want to see whatever planet I go to. You know, if I was an alien, I'd want to see just what is the most ridiculous part of these people. And Florida.
Now, so let me read you. Hold on, I'm gonna read you what. So somebody was like, I was at the mall, the Miami Mall yesterday, and the government is lying. They started panicking because the gray creatures, so now they're saying they're gray, were walking around. They didn't make any noises or sounds, but stared and watched you move. And they said that apparently every time someone tried to take a video, it would get distorted. So that's why I don't know if I have a video. I saw the video clip that has been going around where they kind of zoom in a little bit on the front of the mall area with that gray thing. I'm gonna be honest, it just looked like somebody got on like a really long white t-shirt and it's flowing. But so they said that the government is covering it up. They said it's about 6 or 7 feet tall. I also heard it was 8 feet tall. Don't know. You didn't get close enough, so how can you really know? But walked around very slowly and would move and shape shift. And I'm like, so how did if
You know how many times have you been online just over the past week and you've seen someone not knowingly post an AI picture of something?
Oh yeah. Yep.
And that is the weirdest thing right now for me personally about all of this new technology, because you have all this deep fake stuff where you can totally make up videos and people are literally believing the fake thing over
More
reality.
than the real thing.
And it's like, it's such a weird dynamic that we find ourselves in, because people are like, in as much as we all know that there are shady things that happen and things that happen behind the scenes. It's like too many people have completely invested in what is completely unreal and taken that as reality. It's a scary thing, you know what I mean?
Listen, I mean, what really gets me is, don't you think that if it was an alien, that the FBI or the military would be involved? All I saw was all the hood cops coming in.
Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has a nice camera on their cell phone. And the idea that, there aren't hundreds of videos of whatever they say took place is just absurd.
Right.
It's just as absurd as a flat Earth. Like, what are you talking about?
But they did so there was also in the message or in the tweet, they said that they were moving through the glass doors. And it made me think, what if they were shoplifting?
It's a point. It's a possibility.
And that is why the cops were there.
And what if their culture doesn't have shoplifting? What if there's no currency in their culture? And they were just like, oh, this is nice, I'll take it, because there's just a free exchange of goods in the way that they live.
They American now.
But they don't know American, they're learning the culture. And it's like, why are these little people shooting these little, corn darts at us? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I guess we'll put it back, but we didn't mean any harm. You know what I mean?
My soul would have left my body if I saw some creature like that.
Well, it wouldn't have because there was none.
Don't say that, because then they're going to pay you a visit and see how you feel.
Well, I got a good camera, so I will make sure that I catch some footage and give you all the real, and that'll be a Naj and Jay exclusive.
Oh, no. I'd be gone. I'd be going. That wouldn't...
Yeah, but I'll post it on the page, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we'll see what happens. We've had the government release the UFO footage and the documents with all the redacted information. So, this could be them just coming to see what's up, since we're finally admitting that there are other beings.
Anything is possible, but I'm going to
where
roll
would you
my
tell
dice.
them to go next?
Personally, New Orleans, because, eat some good food. Like, if there's one thing that, humans do well is, eat. So go to Bourbon Street, enjoy the music. That's good culture. If you want to see, the good side of human culture and American culture, get some good food, get some etouffee, get some jazz, get some of the marching bands and all that kind of stuff. There you go. That's what I would say. Yeah.
All right.
What would you say?
I feel like between Nashville and maybe Dallas.
Dallas? Why Dallas?
Barbecue. Houston or Dallas, the barbecue.
Okay, I can respect that.
And because it's on the come up, it's on the rise. Like, they're really getting into music and all that, and people are traveling there more.
Okay.
And then Nashville, of course, because it's Nashville.
All right.
I wouldn't say go to New York just yet. They probably have cousins there that are like, don't come here.
Fair enough.
So,
yeah.
Welcome, aliens, if you happen to watch the Naj and Jay show.
We come in peace.
Okay. January 6th was National American Wannabe Thug Day, where they stormed the Capitol like the gangster thug retards that they were. Over 1,200 people and Trump have been charged for their involvement in this. There were 2 deaths. We got to see a mighty prayer by our own beloved Lisa Blunt Rochester. So yeah, it happened 3 years ago.
Was it 3 years ago? Wow.
3 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy. It actually, damn.
Yeah.
I guess that's a part of getting old for me. Yeah. No, that aged me quickly, because for anyone who gets older, time just kind of compresses, and that which happened 5 years ago feels like it was a year ago. So yeah, I'm thinking, this is the 1 year anniversary. It's nuts.
Oh, 3 years.
Yeah. That's terrible.
I still sit here. I was looking at some of the footage earlier, and I still sit here thinking, I'm like, had this been any other country, it would have been off with their heads. Like the fact that they got as far as they did, and I don't even know how it's a question that Trump is on the ballot.
Well, let's be honest. It ties actually very well into the Florida aliens because you have people acting like it wasn't a real thing, like it was a government setup. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Are you kidding me? If you start to talk to some of these hard right-wingers, like super Trump supporters, they'll tell you it was a conspiracy that was set up by the FBI, all kinds of nonsense. Like it actually didn't, it's not a real thing. Like I'm telling you, like it's really easy to find people who would co-sign that idea. Meanwhile, there's like video footage of actual policemen or security in front of Republicans holding guns, pointing it like through the door at the people trying to get in. But you know, it's all fake. So
I don't need to meet them people. You know, some conversations, some types of logic, I don't need to come into contact with.
Yep.
And that's
logic. But yeah.
My God. Well, I don't know what that means, but it's been 3 years. And I hope it doesn't happen again. So there's that. What do you have?
I mean, I really want to open up the comment that Cameron made. You know.
All right. Well, hold on.
Okay.
So, no, you go ahead, because this is kind of like a Debbie Downer. So you go ahead.
Well, you want to get the Debbie Downer over with?
Okay. So 215 bodies were found behind a Mississippi jail. Attorney Ben Crump is representing a few of the deceased families, one being Dexter Wade. So they found this grave with all of these bodies. They were only marked with a pole and I think like a tag or a wire. Nobody knew why they were here, what it was for, until some of them were exhumed. Dexter Wade being one of them. So he was hit and killed by a police vehicle. He had identification on him, but his family was not notified of his death, and they thought he was missing. And they call it a pauper's cemetery. Now they're trying to figure out why wasn't the family contacted. I mean, just based off of how he died, that tells you everything you need to know. But they're trying to figure out why all of these bodies are here, why none of the families have been contacted. And then there was an article that mentioned that they're exhuming the bodies, finding out who the families are, and then charging them for doing that process. Was it called exhumation? Is that what you call it?
Sounds right. I don't know.
That's right. They're charging them for the exhumation of the bodies and the identification of the bodies. So you put their bodies there unlawfully, like they're trash, and then I feel like every few months we get these ridiculous ass stories where you just scratch your head and you're like, but how? But why? Who would think that this was a good idea? You know, how many bodies does it take for you to say, you know what, we should probably look into this because these people have families. They should know what is going on. So right now, Ben Crump's team is representing those families, but is also seeking justice for the other bodies that have been identified and trying to identify the bodies who weren't identified. And of course, this is going to continue to happen. It's an ongoing process, but it's just so depressing. And it makes you wonder when you have all these missing people, all these missing persons cases, could they be in something like this in your own hometown? You know, how would you even begin to look for a possible body in a grave like that, a pauper cemetery?
I mean, are you aware of Mount Olive Cemetery right on Lancaster Avenue?
No.
That's where Clifford Brown is buried. It's kind of to your point, and I don't want to stay here, but so my grandmom actually, you know, this is maybe 20 years ago, like there was a significant effort that she was helping to put together to just keep that grave site well maintained because it has grown over. It was a disgrace. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a complete mess. You wouldn't even really know that it was a graveyard, and there were a lot, like Clifford Brown was buried there, you know, and other significant black people. So to your point is that it's a very possible thing that other people have been sort of disrespected in that way, even in Delaware, because that situation at Mount Olive Cemetery specifically could easily be that, you know? Yeah.
Is that grave area cleaned up now?
It's okay. I haven't actually looked at it, but it's often overgrown. I mean, it's right. It's really close to where I stay, so it's like right in between where the Walgreens, like the cannery, and before you get to the bottom of the hill, Lancaster Avenue.
Yes,
it's right there.
yes.
Yep. Clifford Brown is there.
Clifford Brown is buried there? Like, you can go to his grave site?
Yes.
What?
Yep.
Why are you just telling me this? All this work we done did, and you ain't never told me this? I know this man was buried there that close.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame.
Yeah.
The story's a shame, but I also think it's a shame. My mom's grandparents were buried in 2 different cemeteries across the street from each other in Chester.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we were kids, we would go to visit the grave sites, and we would, thank God my mom and her family took care of it, but like, we would go in there and it was so dense with overgrown grass and everything.
Yeah.
But when we got to my grandmother's grave, it was always cleaned up. Because one of my uncles or my cousins would clean it up. But I like, if we're not going to care for the area where the bodies are laid, why are we laying them there?
Well,
you know, like, why aren't we doing other things? But
yeah. But for the record, just regarding me specifically, you know, then we could probably stop talking about this stuff. But like, whoever, please don't waste a whole lot of money on me. Like, put me in one of those tree sacks. Let me just naturally decompose and go back into the ether. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be having any more work put in my put towards me at that point. Leave it at that.
Michelle said, "Let's cement me."
I can dig it. That's funny.
Oh God. I think I want to be a tree pod.
Yeah, I'm tree pod style, 100%.
Then I'm gonna be cremated and just put me under a rose bush.
Man, listen, throw me into the Delaware Bay, let the fish eat me, and get some good, you know,
listen,
local
it's already
organic.
Contaminated. Throwing you in there ain't gonna hurt.
So, you know what I'm saying?
With the amount of coffee and beets that you eat, you might actually turn the tide for the Delaware River.
Listen, if the fish needs some healthy, local, organic, native beef, here I am. Like, I'll be
You're
your
giving back to the land. It's part of your native roots.
It's part of the reciprocity and the circle of life. So yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So aren't we obligated to, like, we don't, however much you want to say, but aren't we obligated to talk about Cat Williams? Like, you know, I know it's been a week since the whole thing came out, but like, don't we have to say something about Cat?
Of course. Go ahead.
It was hysterical. It was just really good entertainment. Like,
he came into 2024 shooting. Just shooting.
Like, I can't verify. I don't know who did what to who stole what, who went to what party and is secretly gay. I don't know. I don't really care. But all I know is that the things that were coming out of his mouth made me laugh. I mean, everyone knows that there's like...
He gave us a comedy special.
It was a comedy special. And the funniest part to me, honestly, was watching Shay Shay respond, because he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
I don't remember none of his questions, because Kat literally said Shannon didn't have to say nothing. All he had to do was grab his drink, laugh, nod, move his body.
Can I say this?
Did everything.
Okay, okay, he wasn't as extreme, but I definitely could empathize with Shay Shay in that situation, because I kind of felt that a little bit when we were interviewing Aleem. It's like, oh, here we go. Like, you're not pulling this train off the tracks. Like, the train is going
No,
to
but
go.
you had good questions. That's the thing. Like your follow-up questions were really good. Whereas I literally could not tell you anything Shannon asked except for
Right,
that's how you
right,
gonna do? That's how
right.
you gonna do? I'm like, this man was he even there?
But it's just
Like,
realizing that this is out of your control at this point from the beginning. Like,
listen,
it is what it is. You know what
what
I
I
mean?
love, what I love about it, I didn't watch it. I only saw clips because I'm not sitting there for all that. Like
Yeah.
I don't have the capacity. But what I love is number one, you got people who came out to defend themselves who were like, I'm telling you, I ain't never seen men over 50 move that fast in my life. Okay. Unless they win in money. But they came out a child swinging. And then you had people who had all of these beautiful stories about how he helped them in their
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
So, regardless of what, you know, what anybody can say, they can definitely say he's done some good in this world.
Well, he made me laugh, and I know that you shouldn't maybe always laugh at the expense of others, but like if you're talking about it, you could go through that whole.
He's a comedian. You're supposed to laugh at the expense of
Listen,
others.
man, if you go through that 3 hours of commentary, there's just such an abundance of one-liners that are just
Yeah.
meme after meme after meme. It was so funny. Like, and I don't like to see other black people tear each other down. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to see that. And I get anyone who shares that perspective, but like just objectively, it was so funny. Like just comments like, never mind. I'll stop. But like, it was really, really funny. And
I think a lot of the stuff that the public tried to debunk or gave the receipts for, like for instance the Mark Curry thing with Steve Harvey, the Cedric the Entertainer thing, it is no secret that people steal material.
Yeah.
Like just like people steal music.
Yeah.
So I think it was. I feel like for those specific people, I feel like it was needed.
You know who gave, I think, the most mature, and maybe not the most, but one that stood out to me? Guy Torrey gave he gave a very mature response. Like, I think he handled it absolutely perfectly. He had no emotion tied to it. He just was like, listen, cat is cat, but these are my receipts, and I just need to, to maintain my integrity. So I'm not coming at cat, but I just need you all to see these facts because this was not accurate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then on the other side, I posted this on Facebook yesterday. Like, Ludacris's response was hilarious, and then Charleston White's response to Ludacris was funnier because it was like, listen, people, I want you to understand that, like, I don't care if Ludacris is completely homosexual behind closed doors. I don't know. I don't care. It makes no difference to my life. But, like Charleston said, if someone comes at your neck at that degree and literally tries to blow up your entire spot by saying that you are completely someone else in terms of who you are, the idea that, like, and Nas, we know, like, we have witnessed this personally. The idea that someone would publicly say J Street likes to kick dogs across the street and likes to rip the tails off of cats. The idea that I would respond with a song or with bars like, yo, hold up, son. Like,
And
no.
Ones. And
like,
bad with that. I would check your temperature.
That's not,
I would check your temperature.
That's not how you respond, bro. Like,
That's just a pulse.
yeah, like that's this is not bars. This is not a battle rap right now. This is not. I'm not like, and he didn't even really attack Cat, which was weirder. So it was really funny and really entertaining. And I am, however you slice it, Cat used his clear gifts to completely steal the internet for about a week, and it was really funny to see. Yeah.
He sure did. He gave us a special at Club Shay Shay. Do you get that?
Yep.
Club Shay Shay and Cat Williams, like,
Yep. Yep. He's
hilarious.
going to have a very lucrative year. So, yeah.
Man. I don't see. I mean, I see him getting booked for stuff, but I don't see anybody wanting to work with him after that.
Yeah, but he'll do a comedy tour and it'll be sold out across the country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all. He'll just do stadiums. It's fine.
Yeah. I do like his specials.
He's
Every single one.
hilarious. He's never not
Yeah.
funny.
Did you watch the Dave Chappelle special?
I haven't caught up with that one yet. I intended on watching it this weekend, but I just never kind of got the energy to really watch through it. But I'm definitely going to. I have to. It's Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it too. So Little Nas X commented on it. I didn't get to see his comment. I just know that there was a response because apparently there was some, LGBTQ jokes. Someone on Facebook was like, he must be running out of jokes because that is his continued narrative.
I did see one of the jokes, and on one hand, it was really well thought out and intelligent for him, as Dave is. It definitely made me laugh, but it was also like, ooh, I cringed hard, and it's hard to make me cringe.
Oh.
But it was like brilliant, but also super cringy. And I feel like that comment that you just made is kind of accurate. Like, it's like, dude, all right, you already dug in all the way against this demographic, so let's just talk about other stuff because there's a lot of other stuff to talk about. You know what I mean? But I haven't seen the special. I just saw that one clip, so I don't know what the whole thing is about. I'm kind of responding to something that I'm relatively ignorant about at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all I have on my list.
Cam, we gonna go there?
Can you remind me again? Because I ended up listening to his rap, his freestyle, and I forgot what we were supposed to talk about.
No, Cameron said he was speaking on his podcast, and he basically was saying that...
That's his podcast? He set it up like a newsroom?
I think so, him and Mace. It's really funny. It's really good, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he said that he doesn't consider himself African American. He considers himself black. And,
oh, okay.
And I mean, if you don't want to open up the can of worms right now, it's fine. But like, I'll say just from my end, because you sent it to me, that I understood his perspective. And I understand that a lot of people might disagree. And I really don't get super caught up in, the exact name of, my culture and race. I go by black, like I'm black. But I'll say African American, and it doesn't bother me, but I just understood his point that he considers himself to be a black American more so than African, despite the fact that we honestly, all people, but obviously, black people in America have ties to Africa that are just undeniable. And I thought about you specifically with that comment because I know that part of your experience over there has been like people witness, like they see that you're a black person, clearly, because it's obvious, but you're an American first to them. And I just think that that's really to his point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Here, it has been an interesting, every time I have the conversation is interesting. So when I first got here, I said I was African American, and they said, "Where in Africa are you from?" And I was like, "No, I don't know." So but you said you're African American.
And so
like,
go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
I said, "Well, I'm African American, but I'm from America." And they were like, "But you don't know where you're from in Africa. But so have you been to Africa?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "So you're from the US?" And I said, "Yes." And they were like, "So you're American?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I've had other conversations where I'm like, "Do you know what black is?" Like, I'm black. And they were like, "Yeah, but where are you from?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm from America." "So you're American?" "Yes, but I'm black. I'm a black American." So it's been, and I've had it with Africans. I've had it with ethnicities. So
wait, can you, if you're comfortable, can you talk about that conversation that you've had with Africans about that? Because I think it's an important point. Laugh how? Sorry, if you're not comfortable, but you know what I'm saying?
I just don't want to be attacked by our Africans at home.
Then don't. You know what I'm saying? But I think that speaks. You already understand.
Let me just say this. My perspective of who I am in this world much bigger than the perception of who you think I am in that small town that I live in.
I will say this.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That shit was profound. That shit. That was good.
Was that your quotable? Okay, got you.
That was my Cat Williams moment. You see, I was rubbing my thighs like that.
Okay.
That was some dope shit right there.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Oh man.
All right. Sorry.
No. Get it out. Let's get through that.
Just put that to simmer a little bit, you know. Sounds like child. Sounded like I should be doing a TED talk. Watch out, Carrie Ann.
So you made that comment at around 44 minutes. So when we go back and make our clips, you go back to 44 minutes, and it'll be somewhere in there, so you can highlight that. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'll say two things because I really don't feel like getting combative right now. I think that it's very telltale that when you say you're African, that the question is from where in Africa. I've said this over and over again. Africa is literally the biggest continent on the world, in the world, and it has the most biodiversity, even just among people, despite that they have the same color for the most part anywhere on the globe. And, you know, it's no different. Like a Nigerian absolutely insists on being called, they're Nigerian. Yes, they're from Africa, but they're Nigerian, very specifically. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's from Ghana will tell you, I'm from, this is my tribe.
I know.
I'm from, you know what I'm saying? And so,
if I ask, are you African? They'll be like, I'm from Uganda. Like they'll be a little snippy about it.
Oh, okay, and so here's where, like, I think that it's important for anyone, anytime you're having a discussion that could be a little bit prickly, that you kind of step back and look at things, you know, outside of yourself, right? And I'll start here from my end. Like, Jamaicans are Jamaican. They don't say I'm African Jamaican. They understand that they're tied to Africa, of course. They understand. Like, I think a lot of the Jamaicans might be Igbo tribe, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, irrelevant sort of. But like, Jamaicans and Haitians are two different, like, I am Haitian, I am Jamaican, and yes, we are all tied to Africa, but that is who they are. And in the same way, I'm a Black American. I have a very unique and special culture that you know, although I understand the ties to Africa, I am very proud of the fact that my direct and closest lineage is tied to the blues, jazz, hip hop, and all those kinds of things. And I understand that everyone, like technically pretty much everyone, white people included, come from Africa. Like, just, you know, migration, and then you in a colder environment, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm a Black American. Proudly, you know what I'm saying? I am Stevie Wonder, and I've said this over and over again. And in the same way, like, my best friend is Greek, right? But he's Greek American, let's be clear. Like, and he is very tied to his home country in that, like, he's learned the language and he goes back to Greece. He was born in America, and I don't care, like, I've been to Greece with him, and there is a difference between the Greeks who live in Greece and him. It's a different kind of person, and that's okay. Like, he's tied to it, but that he's American before Greek. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
oh yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
The conversations I've had here have been very eye-opening for me. Mm-hmm. And I think the one thing that I remember having a conversation about was I have felt so, I didn't like saying I'm American because it made me feel gross because of what we deal with as Blacks in America. we're made to feel like we don't belong. We're made to feel like we are not allowed to claim it. Um, so to say that while I'm out here was initially really hard for me. And then when I was starting to have the conversations more with different cultures and understanding where they're from and what they view of the US and America and blah, 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 I realized that the people who run with the narrative that I can't call myself an American are the problem.
So I love that you said all that. And I think that it's important for Black people in America to recognize that we have as much entitlement to this country as anyone, because
Right.
we played a significant role in helping to build it. The reason they're bringing you, Naj, over there is because they want Black music.
Yeah.
They want cool American Black music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
we
yeah.
made that. Like, when you go to the jazz bar, jazz is American and it's from Black people in America. So, you know, they're exporting the culture that we created here. So, for anyone who has that sort of shame or feeling like you don't have a right, you have as much of a right as anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Right.
made it and they want it. So, yeah.
So I
In spite
realized
of.
that my ethnicity is Black because I will never, unfortunately, be able to pinpoint where my roots are from. But what I do know is where I was born, who I was born to, and where my family was created and all that. I am Black and I'm an American. And that's what I know about myself. And that's what I know to be true. And that's what I will say for the rest of my life.
And
And
go ahead, sorry.
for anyone who, feels differently or identifies as anything else or whatever, that's cool. I have no issue with that. I know who I am and you know who you are. And
And to
we
be
live our lives.
clear from my end, part of my bucket list is I want to go to South Africa because I just have a weird connection to them, like between the music and Mandela and just the motorcycle riding in that area. Like, I want to go to South Africa, and I really want to go to that door of no return. I forget what they call it, in Ghana on the west coast of Africa. Like, I want to see where the slaves were sent out and
Oh,
never
yeah.
returned.
Okay.
Because I know that I'm connected to that. I understand where I
Right.
come from. But that was hundreds of years ago. Like, hundreds of, like, centuries upon centuries upon centuries. Like, I've never been to Africa. If I went to Nigeria right now and be like, yo, I'm Nigerian, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would laugh at me. Like, bruh, I know that maybe like 500 years ago, your family, came through here possibly, but like,
Right.
you grew up in
It would be
America, and
it would be different if it would be different if I could like when I look at my ancestry ratings and like my percentages, it's so all over the place. There's no way I'd be able to find it. But what I can find, my great grandmother, my great great grandmother, my great 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 grandmother, and all my great greats were all here in Mississippi, in Alabama, in Georgia, in Ohio. Just like when I'm talking to, for instance, I went to school with a girl whose family was from Scotland, and all of her family is still in Scotland, and like her grandparents. So her parents moved here, had her, and but like her grandparents, her great grandparents were there, her great greats. So it's the same exact thing, but in America from me.
yeah, absolutely.
So
And
that's all I know. So I'm still trying to, and here's the weird part. Now that I've understood this, what America am I proud of? And that's the part I'm dissecting, because there are parts that hurt. There are parts that are confusing. There are parts that are conflicting and contradictory to who I am as a person. So now I'm trying to understand, okay, how does this work for me and my family and my generations behind me and the generations moving, forward.
I am Nas. I am Dr. King. I am Stevie Wonder. I'm Donny Hathaway. I'm Louis Armstrong. I'm Mac and Cheese. I'm Blue Jeans. You know what I'm saying? I'm sweet potato pie. That's what I am. That's home to me. I'm gospel music. You know what I'm saying? That's what I am. And all of those things here, they're all tied in. I understand that they have yams in Africa. I get it. Understand? They have, but you know what I'm saying. And that's me,
Well, if
and
that's
I'm proud
the case,
of it.
I'm Juneteenth.
Word.
I am Thanksgiving.
Word.
I am Christmas. I am Watch Night. I am baked turkey wings.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and spiral ham.
And we are barbecue. Let's and everybody does barbecue.
Barbecue.
That's a American across the board.
I'm fishing. I'm camping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, crabs. I am crabs.
Oh yeah, crabs. Yes, very much so.
You know what I'm saying? I can pick crabs, all those things, and that you can't even everybody in California can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm soul music.
I am.
Music.
So, what an interesting thing to just happen there. But yeah.
Yeah. So, that's what I've learned.
Cool. Well, everybody, we are back.
Cheryl said she has commentary.
Okay, give it to us, baby.
Do tell.
Yeah, we want all the commentary, and we thank you for looking in and watching the show. I'll say this. Well, maybe you should say it, but Cheryl Mack is a real one, and we love Cheryl on this show. Yeah.
My friend has a concept called the New Africans. Is that like neo soul?
Okay. Is she going to give us more information about this concept? I'm open to it.
I'm sure she will.
Like now?
I'm sure she will.
Okay.
Because actually, she was one of the people I had this conversation with.
Okay. I mean, I don't want you to speak for her, but can you give us a little more of that conversation?
Well, just, when I was coming to realizations and I was talking about it, having those conversations with people about where I'm from, who I am, and blah, blah. She was the one that kind of helped me expand my mind a little bit. And I think it's beautiful that I had the conversation with her because she's not from Delaware. She only lives in Delaware now. So she isn't privy to all of the cultural things happening in Delaware with, and so her perspective was completely different and open. She said, we are all descendants of Africa, but we have evolved based upon our new locations. Yep.
Of course. Yeah. Please don't tell a Jamaican that they're anything but Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see Jamaicans wear the red, black, and green, but tell Jahidi he's anything but Jamaican. He says Jamaican before American, and he was born in America. You know what I'm saying? So I think he was born in America. But that's all I'm saying. Jahidi is Jamaican.
It depends on what accent you hear. If you're speaking to Ja at Parks and Rec, he is American. If you are listening to him perform at
Ian Smith. Ian.
Right.
Ian.
Right.
No. I'm glad you said that. I hope you see this, Ja, because hear how he says his name. I am Ian Jahiti Smith.
Right. Listen, code switching is a real thing.
Yeah, he switches in his own name. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, he does.
It's hysterical.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So.
Alrighty.
What do you have for the rest of the day, Naj?
I'm about to eat and take a nap. Well, not take a nap because it's 7:30 here. So eat and then I'll probably watch something. But honestly, I need to just go to bed because I'm tired. I work a lot late. So my days off I cherish.
All right. Well, we will let you enjoy the rest of your day off. Everybody, we will be back next Monday for sure. We'll be doing weekly shows in this capacity, basically until Naj gets back. So for the next 4 to 5 weeks, we'll be here, and then we'll be back to normal stuff. Everybody back in the casita. So yeah.
Happy New Year.
Bam.